Hey everyone, Michael here on the Archangel again. Welcome back to Theory of Everything presentation, part 10, video number 3. This is an ongoing series. Please view the videos in sequential order for best viewing results. This particular presentation part has two previous parts to it. As in those parts, I'm going to start with a disclaimer. By watching this video or any of my videos, you agree not to take legal action against me in any way, shape, or form. If you do not like or disagree with what I'm saying, please discontinue watching immediately. I need to make a clarification. I mentioned in the last video that Liz Cheney was former Vice President Cheney's lesbian daughter. It was actually Mary Cheney. I mentioned that I believe that a lot of gay and lesbian people were sexually abused as a kid or adolescence, and that's what causes them to take on such behavior. So we now move to the main attraction of the whole entire thing. If you're still with me, bless you and thank you. I want to say a quote. There's a singer, underground label, Necro. He doesn't have, he's completely blacklisted, talks about a lot of this occultic, ritualistic stuff. Please check out Necro. A friend of mine got me into him many, many years ago. Really, really interesting work he does. Very, very talented. But he says, I perform lobotomies with telekinetic psychology. That's like our ultimate goal here, is to bring somebody's mind crashing down, or to basically metastasize cancer into your enemy. This is like advanced psychological warfare is what this really falls into. I talked about The Men That Stare at Goats, the movie with George Clooney, and there's probably people that can really do this. Like, if you just got near them, they could look at you and you start hurting a certain place or something. Like probably certain Muslim people, or like I said, I talked about the Asians. I believe the North Koreans probably are the best at this. Myself, I understand that this is all protected under the First Amendment of our what's left of our Bill of Rights. We have Fourth Amendment got raped after 9/11, sadly, and it's just under fire ever since then. My father once told me, if they ever come for the Second Amendment, that they'll basically come for the First Amendment. And the whole thing, I'm not taking a microchip, I'm not taking a vaccine, I'm not taking RFDI. If they even ever do anything, understand that Hitler did the exact same thing. They gave the Jews a yellow star, very similar to my hexagram here that we're going to use, a yellow star, and it basically numbered and ID'd them. And you're getting ready to be holocausted. If that's the case, you might as well just fight at that point. We might as well take up arms. And there's a lot that they're not telling us. Obama, someday, I would love to be able to pursue my many, many passions. I have a therapeutic healing practice on the side. I'm interested in all forms of Eastern medicine, Reiki, acutonics, acupressure, reflexology, to sound balancing using tuning forks, weighted and unweighted, all kinds of herbology. I'd much rather be doing that than anything of this nature. I have innumerable ideas that I I wouldn't even call them inventions, but suppressions of science, both in the medical device field and also the free energy field, that are so simple that you'd be like, oh my God, it's mind-boggling why they keep this suppressed, and it's very evident. It's basically the oil kids, the silver spoon oil kids don't want you to know the truth about magnetism and other things as well, and about our bodies, true potential. But if they ever did give me, if I ever was able to pursue this and won a Nobel Prize, I would say right off the bat, Obama, how they gave a Nobel Peace Prize to Obama fathoms my mind. All those people out there that go around saying that Israel and the U.S. are so close, understand that a lot of people in Israel know that Obama created ISIS and facilitated them in Syria, Israel's northern neighbor, and it was Vladimir Putin that stepped in and carpet bombed and decimated them. And he didn't want to have to do that with all the beautiful architecture and everything in Syria. Syria is very significant in biblical prophecy. I talked about Mount Hermon earlier and the fallen angels, the 1,000-year reign that's almost over. But I really believe that Obama should give back his $2 million reward money, or award money, from that, and write a check to the Kremlin for what he did. So for our purposes, we're going to basically we're bringing the whole purpose of a black mass is to call on evil spirits for a certain purpose. And I've talked about how they've stolen numerous kids from my mother and me, and my mother and I are kidnapped by the CIA and the military-industrial complex. I'm kept deeply suppressed. They've tried to kill me innumerable times. I'll get into that probably at the end of my presentation when I finish up. My sister works for the government, and the rest of my family has like very stinky connections to the Zionists and just evil entities. And it's just like I'm basically all alone here. If you think a normal person would do a 12, 13, or 8 hour presentation series on the theory of everything, it's because I have, like, anybody I meet is going to be a plant, and I have no desire to even go out and attempt to meet anybody. They won't let me have kids or a family, and I basically keep my life very simple and hope that eventually some things go back to the 1800s. But they've stolen these bloodlines of the Nephilim and divinity, and specifically the AB negative bloodlines. They use them in satanic worships, blood sacrifice, snuff films, every unimaginable depraved act you could even conceive with your mind. The Trumps are involved, the Epsteins are involved, the Clintons are involved, the royal family is involved, many, many others. Even people who have $2, $3, $4 million do this. It could be your next door neighbor. Freemasons, big into this as well. And they keep crossing these stolen bloodlines incestuously in an attempt to create God in a test tube, essentially, to sum it up. And they know that the 1,000-year reign of the Messiah, or second coming of Christ, is imminent. So, like, their goal is to try to overthrow this and thwart this with, their little science experiments. They're having major issues with stillbirth, mutations, and genetic defects. Probably other things at this point, with all the nasty nuclear radiation and fallout in our environments, plus the biological, chemical, and electronic warfare going on. So they're having major issues with that. And I pray that these things of evil encompass these people, and that, like, they don't get the genetic traits that they want, and they get, like, the antithesis, and, like, basically like never get off the ground and get cut off at the root. So, with this power that I'm telling you, and enlightenment of knowledge of, like, truth and science, almost like Scientology or like Dianetics, metaphysical aspect to everything, like freeing your mind and your body. Like if you incorporate the good elements of, like, Christ and the angels into this with the dark elements of Satan and the evil spirits, we can overtake them and their just like love of Satanism and the evil. Like I'm telling you, this is way stronger in this way, and that's the whole purpose of me doing this. This is very, very, very powerful. So again, purpose of a black mass to summon the forces of evil for a specific purpose. I'm going to show you an extremely, extremely expedited brief version, but you'll get the point. I'll show you some of the stuff that I'm going to use. There's a gentleman named Antoine Lavie, I believe his name is. He's like the head of the Luciferian or Satanic Church. He has several books out. He probably has like a whole dedicated process. They probably have like red velvet tablecloths and like actual like a certain methodology that they use and enact. Not going to get into that. I have no desire to spend money and to like dedicate that much time and effort to this. I think I can encompass very similar effect. So the big thing is a goat's head, a decapitated goat's head with dripping blood. I could use this, a deer skull shot years ago. I am personally going to use this one. This is actually like I shot this many, many, many years ago. And this is actually like a deer that started to regress. Like it's actually an old deer, and I have never seen a spike this big. Like I could probably sell this if you were allowed to sell animal stuff for like a lot of money to occultic people. I have not seen one like it. If you did want a real goat's head with the dripping blood, you're perfectly within your First Amendment rights to do so. I know a place, the Green Dragon auction every Friday night. You buy one at market cost, and I know some other Amish people that have them as well. The blood-soaked pentagram. Well, first off, the concentric circle. So we're just going to use this for concentric circle within a circle, huge, must. Blood-soaked pentagram is the big one. We're not going to use a blood-soaked pentagram. We're going to use a blood-soaked hexagram. I'm not going to cut myself on here, and people are going to say I'm self-mutilating myself or something like that. But blood-soaked hexagram, because we're doing a hex. And I talked about my candles many times. I get them from the Kiev Monastery in Ukraine, and also in St. Sergei Facade, outside of Moscow. beeswax smell great. Side note, this is what a real cross looks like. It has 3 tiers. I don't know why we don't adopt it. Maybe someday, but that's what a real cross looks like. Talked about my snake in the past. I don't use a real snake, but I use this. I don't know what kind it is. Once again, dragon dagger. And I think that's about it. Let's get the show on the road. We now call to order the spirits and forces of creation and destruction. And I end with ringing of hell's bells. Again, a big element to the whole thing is alcohol. Like moonshine would probably work the best, or some type of over 100 proof that would basically be flammable. Everclear, maybe, whatever. I don't drink alcohol. I use this. I found this particular bottle to be of like great value in this whole thing. Kind of interesting there. The music I use, I used a Norwegian metal band, Thor's Hammer. Norge is the song. Really good band for this. Also, the Typo Negative, love you to death. Rest in peace, Peter Steele. Amazing talent. Died of cancer. I'm not going to do my median impersonation of him, but I do a pretty good impersonation. Peter Steele. Voice is a little bit crackly this morning. Probably certain times that you're supposed to do them as well. I'm trying to get this done. So let me see here. Again, like I said, you can kind of unleash these spiritual energies on whoever. You know, the oil and war money are good ones. The biotech industry and everything we have going on with the lies, organized crime, Italian mafia. People, you know, ring a few bells. But I can tell you the spirits by nature are very clingy and narcissistic. They love, like, when you acknowledge their presence, like anything you can do to acknowledge their presence. And in my opinion, you know, with this whole coronavirus thing, we're being lied to and herded to our slaughter. And you know, I really believe that hopefully only the strong will survive. And, you know, it won't get to the point of needing a microchip or anything like that. I'd rather see it go back to the 1800s. And so now we move along here. I'll try to hurry this up. And this, like, now we get on to the deepest secrets. I told you about, this is stuff like this, the CIA and other organizations hold and, like, covet very, very secretly. Okay, so I have, like, these abilities. Like, I told you about the looking glass, where you could pretty much ask me a question to anything. I could tell you the answer through these alchemy abilities. And a lot of it's open to interpretation. Like kind of like you almost have to do it yourself. Some people have these abilities, some people don't have them. I can tell you that right now. And like I found that people that are on drugs or people that take like prescription medications, it blocks and inhibits these natural abilities. Usually, this is my original alchemy book, my first one. I actually found out about this. I have numerous of them. I found out about it using this medical desk dictionary, where I just like at nighttime would just randomly open up a page and start like basically going to random words. Kind of interesting. Lesbian came up, first one there. But yesterday I did this, and black-necked cobra came up. It was like the first one that came up. So very interesting there. Like I said, you just flip to a random word, and typically, if you have these abilities, the word will have some type of inherent meaning for the past, the present, or the future. Like, I've actually seen this where, like, it's the next word that you're getting ready to think or say, or like if next thing you're getting ready to do, or it's telling you what you should go do. It's absolutely alarmingly eerie. It's crazy. Then you can get into like making matrices, where like you take like 5-6 words, write them down, and then like connect the meaning and an understanding of the nature of the words together. That's also a good way. Like you don't have to use dictionaries. Dictionaries I found to be the best. I use this Merriam-Webster's. This is my second one. I still use this one. I pretty much retired. It's exceeded its life. Like, eventually, what happens is when you use them for a while, certain pages will start to come up over and over again. It starts to get like out of its binding, so you need to replace it with a new one. I have a brand new one that I only use for certain times. And so you make a matrix, write down like 5-6 words that come up, and like you can actually almost put a sentence together, like the villain is this person, or like, you know, or like go here, like it's that ironic, like that eerie. Another one I use, Russian English dictionary. I don't really like that one as much. This one I do not like. The Oxford American Dictionary. I don't like it as much as the Merriam-Webster's, I can tell you that. Black's Law Dictionary as well. What you can do, like, if you ever seen the Windows, like for computer, Windows symbol, where there's like 4 like panes that like are like in the sun, direct sunlight. Like, what you can do is like get just 4 random books, or like 4 dictionaries, or like even go to a library and put 4 books in direct sunlight, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and like go to one, flip a page, go to another, flip a page, go to another, and like that's a very effective way as well. Or just to go to a library and just walk around at random and just pick random books off the shelf and just go to like a random page. And you have to like, I try to show this to people, and some people like pick it up and like almost like start like they do it like an unnatural way. It's got to be like natural, like almost like no thought, like your mind goes completely clear. I can't emphasize that enough. And again, some people just don't have this ability. I don't know what to say about that, and I feel bad if you feel left out. But yes, it is real, and it has like I said, you can use it for medical things, you can use it for law things, and like this has so much value. Like, if you were an attorney and like you were trying to think of a defense or a prosecution against like for your client or against a person or whatever, it would just have like infinite value. You would know like the game plan ahead of time. Or like if you were like, there's corporate espionage, you could almost use this for that. And like has like you could definitely profit off of this. Like, this is probably why they suppressed my stock trading or attempts so much, and like other things as well. I'm not going to get into that. It's just really sad what they've done to me and my family, and I've had enough. I pray that I'm able to get out. So again, like I said, flip the random words, see if something comes up. It has inherent meaning of past, present, or future context to your life. or somebody around you. And interpretation is a big thing. Like there might be a word that triggers another word, like a word that comes up that has no meaning, but the word itself sounds like something else or triggers something. And you can also get into anagrams. Check out the anagram solver app on your phone. Big into anagrams as well. And also another thing is like if you start flipping through random, you'll usually attempt, or you'll find yourself forgetting the very beginning and the very end. Like you won't, like you'll see that you'll go to the middle more, certain areas more. Like try to like spread it all around if you can. And I call this asking Alexandria, like the Library of Alexandria. It's almost like I said, you could ask it anything you want. Like sometimes I like to ask it a question, like what is, this, and then it'll come up. So because I've basically evolved, I've evolved my alchemy into other forms instead of just flipping to random things. Number, okay, so like there's page numbers, 3 numbers. It starts, I guess you go into single digits, then double digits, then triple digits. Most of them are triple digits, and the numbers can come from anywhere. Like try this, just try this. Like if you're like this, take any random person off the street or whatever and say pick a number from 1 to 10. Okay, multiply or divide or subtract or add a whole bunch of crazy shit, and like till you get a 3-letter number, and then just go to that page and see if it has any meaning. Like it gets into this whole concept of the matrix, and like it's like really deep understanding of the matrix. And like furthermore, like all these presentations I do, I find this very interesting. Like I'll have them all prepared, and then I'll think, oh man, I forgot to add this. And ironically, almost always, I'll go back and there'll be a blank spot, like where I left enough room to write in what I wanted to write, like without thinking about it ahead of time. Like I can assure you, I'm not that advanced and smart to like do like 20-30 page scripts and have left just a single little blank. It's like, I don't know if my work is divinely inspired, or, you put whatever spin on it you want. Maybe I'm evilly inspired. I don't really know. I don't really care. Take it for what it's worth. If one person finds value in this, then it'll be good. So like I said, then take like several of each letter and number. Okay, then there's like an alchemy box, also works good. Like you can take like a little box or like a cup, can, whatever, and cut out like A through Z, then cut out 1s through 10 or whatever. Jostle them up, and like you have to do numerous. You can't just have 1A. Like maybe 3, 4, 5, and like take them out, and you'll get like a lot of times it won't spell something, but then use your anagram solver, and you'll get usually like maybe very close to having like an anagram spelling of something. It's also kind of cool, and like you can also put stuff in there and have like each card represent a certain thing, and like there's different. I'm not going to get into every little way you could do this. Another one, like I found this too. Don't like the ones that come off the TV or off like your phone or like the internet. I don't like as much as the ones that come from nature. Like the ones from nature are the best. Like say you'll see a flock of geese going by and there'll be like 17 geese in the flock or 18 geese in the flock. Then take that and times it by the closest petal of a small scrub tree that's growing in your backyard, and then like divide it by a random number of sorts or something like that. And then another one I like to do is like license plates. So like, okay, what we're gonna do is like you go out for a ride. I can't do this because if I said it, then they would know, and then like people could go ahead of you or something. Say, okay, blue cars is a big one, or like a crazy color car. We're gonna drive down the road, and every blue car we see, we're gonna take the second or third number in the license plate and write it down, and then eventually you'll get like 3 numbers, and like that's how like obscure this whole matrix thing is, and like just try it, and maybe it works, maybe not. So I talked. I have a whole separate video on this channel about my my game. I have a workout game that I kind of invented myself. A friend of mine, Jesse Corm, many years ago, kind of an indirect family member, showed me this game where you take like cards and you put them down, and like you can play with 1 or 2 people, and like each card like card represents a workout, like push-ups, sit-ups, curls with weights. And like, you get a king, you get 10. If you get 2, you get 2. So like it breaks up the monotony. I've taken it a step further. I explained the whole game on here, but you can see here. Okay, so you have your 52 card deck. It's 54 with jokers. I took one of, I'm going to say I took one of my jokers out, and dedicated it to a longtime friend who he committed suicide a while back, Nicholas, my old hockey buddy, and so I think there's like a spiritual element to this. So like, okay, I have 6 different workouts here. Okay, so I have like push-ups, I have sit-ups, I have curls, triceps. I lay on my back and then basically move my legs like moguls or in circles, and it's like a really sick ab workout. And then side leg raises. You can do anything you want, but like here you'd see like, okay, we have like you could go this way, you could go this way, and like there's okay, so say right here 641, this would be, and we'll go to page 641, or you could go backwards, and then there's like a way to interpret this whole thing. The Joker, there's like one I used to use is one was a wild card and one was a dead card. I took the one out, so basically as soon as I put the one down, I automatically skip the one right next to that. That's kind of like in remembrance of my friend. And this takes time to master the art of like deciphering the matrix and like figuring this out. But like when you do your workout, have a dictionary right next to you and just let's just see if that page has any meaning. And sure as heck, maybe it will have relevance. And basically, I hope somebody, like, please, if anybody does use this and actually finds value in it, I would love to hear any feedback whatsoever. I've, like I said, talked to some other people about it, and I've seen people that have these abilities, and I've seen people, like I said, that just there's nothing there. But that wraps up this presentation. Finally, again, if you're with me, thank you. I hope you found some value in all this and entertainment. Try to break up the monotony. I probably have one more video or one more I'm going to do to like a huge finale, basically, and then like an afterthought. And then after that, I'm probably going to like really back down on my channel. I feel like it's very deeply suppressed and my work is very futile. I've really encompassed most of the work that I've wanted to do. Maybe I'll still do a presentation from time to time. But my goal now is to basically stay alive and to not take a vaccine, not take a microchip, and uphold our sanctity of our Constitution in a dignified way, and basically get out of this country. So I want to end a little quote. This is another one of my things. Like I told you about my broader understanding of God. I like Allah. We talked about alchemy, Allah and alchemy, definitely directly correlated. Through fear and despair, there's no need to worry because Allah is always there. Take care, folks.